Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, AmusedJester. My name is Junior, and today we're going to be reviewing Beast Kingdom's DC Comics Batman DAH143. This is the Batman based off of Alex Ross's art style. Yeah, so this is not based off of the Kingdom Come series because he never really showed Batman in this format in Kingdom Come, but Alex Ross did drew Batman in, I think, Justice. He had them. So here's the back. So it's really showcasing the figure. I'm very, very excited to review this. I've been waiting for this for a very long time since it was announced. Very excited to get DC Comics styled figures, especially on Alex Ross's artwork. Very nice window that you can see the figure through, so you can peruse and see, investigate, and make sure that you have all the everything's done or everything's there, and not any kind of defects or anything. And you see all the pairs of hands that's coming and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and open it up and let's take a closer look to see what's going on with this figure. This figure is $49. I got it from Big Bad Toy Store. I got the entire wave, to be honest. So let's take a look really closely at the hands while they're on the tray. As you can see, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 extra pairs of hands, and then a sixth one, the close fisted hands on the figure. You have a, I guess you would say that's a relaxed hand and some sort of gripping hand, I suppose, or loose gripping hand, some slightly open gripping hands or slightly closed gripping hands, a pointing hands over here, and probably for shooting a grapnel or something like that. Let's take a look and see at the quality of the hands that's included with a figure. So pretty basic in terms of sculpt. There's nothing special about them, so it's not like it's textured or anything. But yeah, so that's the kind of like the slightly open, loose hands. All right, so that's a close-up of the head sculpt itself. So as you can see, it's got some pretty good paint application. It's actually a lot better in hand. It's not as I would say plasticky as it's being shown here. I have the camera's light on it, so it's a lot more glaring on it. But in hand, when I'm looking at it in natural light, it feels much better, or it looks much better. You can see that his eyes are nicely painted. It's got that nice bright blue eyes, as you can see. Get closer over here. Fortunately, one of my ears is bent. I'm hoping, yeah, it's soft enough that you can kind of bend it up. But of course, because it's been on the tray, it's gonna tend towards that bend again. Hopefully, it'll stabilize itself. Here's the rest of the body. And the belt is being shown brightly by the light. It's got the gold tones in it. Dull gold on the rest of the belt. Has the Alex Ross styled gauntlet. Actually, this part is actually kind of soft or sharp. So this one is rubbery. Same material, but this one's sharper. Here's the back of the figure. Here's the type of joints that it has. Very nice. So I'm really quite happy with how this thing looks. Let's see and look at the joints. Nice, stiff joints. See how it popped out like that. This is the problem with Beast Kingdom. I was mentioning it to somebody. For some reason, they like using these really small ball joints, and it tends to pop out quite a bit, but you can easily pop it back in. So It's just that because I think it's because of the small joints and it's easy to pop that you're kind of afraid to move this. I'm not, because I know it'll all pop back in anyway, but you're kind of afraid to move it because it's gonna pop, and you know, popping off limbs, it's kind of scary. But this is actually pretty uh, nicely stable in terms of movement. You see me up and down on the shoulders like that. This part might be looser than you might want, but it's able to hold the pose. Every other joint seems nice and what would you call it? Not loose, but steady. Let's just put it that way. Same thing with this one. See how this one feels a little bit more safer. I will say, like, you should know how far you can put this up. As you can see, with the cut goes only up to here. So once you reach that certain point, you're thinking you can still push it up. That's when you start popping it off. So I would say that's the max of the horizontal T-pose. And when you push it, that's when you pop it, because the ball joint is so small. You're basically see how this, you can even see that's the maximum range of that. So usually when you try to push it up, it's when you're basically pushing it out of the socket and you're thinking, oh man, it's hard to put in. It's because you're still putting it at the very edge of that socket alignment. So you want to put that in, and then it'll pop back in easily enough. For the torso, we have this kind of cut. Nice range over there. I wish you had that as much range. Oh, nice forward, nice backward. It's still nice back forward, but man, I'm envious of the range on the sideways. But it does have another ball jointed cut here that could add. See how by this alone you're still able to move it by that much, and then back by that much, side to side. So combining the angle movement of this one and this one, so we'll move it forward there first and then move it forward at the top. That's actually a pretty good range, I think. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to do well, I think I did a double joint here. There is no glove cut, but there's you still have the wrist peg over here with a ball joint, so you can go up and down, and you can sort of maneuver so you can get left to right. So this is a really good type of joint for the wrist. As for the pelvic socket, it does have a drop down. If you want to use that, it will just break the look. But by not using the drop down, it can go up to here. That's without the drop down, but you kind of go sideways, as you can see. Now, if we were to utilize the drop down, it actually still goes sideways, but it goes much more higher now. I think even without even if you chose not to use the drop down, it just automatically drops it down for you the farther and farther you try to put it up. It does have double jointed knees, allows for that much range, and then of course you have the ankle joint, which is again a ball joint, so you can get a lot of movement. And then if you want to do the ankle rocker, you have to maneuver the ball joint in a way so it does that, but you have a lot of range by doing that. You just got to watch out, make sure where the cut is so you know which direction that ball joint is facing. And it does have toe articulation. This is $49. $49. That's quite amazing. And I did hear that the Beast Kingdom products are now appearing at Walmart for even cheaper. I believe it's $40. But they're harder to find. You can't pre-order it online on Walmart. So it seems to be appearing just on the shelf. So if I could pre-order it and I know I'd get it, then definitely I would like the $40 instead of the $48. But if I can guarantee that I'm going to get it without the hassle, have to drive around, and I only have to pay $49 or an extra $10, I think I'd rather do that. I apologize why my camera seems to be going back and forth, but it seems to be tracking movement, so I have to be careful. I do notice that, look, I like the fact that the emblem is big, but look and see that the edges, the very edges of the emblem is, oops, sorry, lifted a little bit. Let's see. See if I can get an angle where that is clearly shown. I'm gonna try. See how I can actually move the edge. So that's kind of disappointing. And I like the emblem being big, but I don't know if I like the emblem being so big that it's actually beyond. See how beyond the cut of the body. See how you can see the edge of it with my fingernail. My fingernail is basically touching the edge of this joint, but it's showing that. Let me go ahead and grab, oh, actually, you know what? Let's see how easy it is to replace one of the hands. Put that out and put this back in. Yeah, so it's kind of tight. So of course, because being a ball joint, if you're not careful, it's just gonna move out of the angle. I know that looks awful, but there, now you can fix it. I will say though, I'm not a big fan of the fact that the ball joint is visible. It could be sunken in a little bit better into the glove, but I feel like that's gonna restrict the range of the articulation. So, and I like the way the range is. I think that would be a sacrifice that I guess I would be okay with the way it is right now. It's really nice range though. And the cape is fabric. As you can see, it's pleather, so eventually this will corrode. I like the fact that it is kind of leathery right now. I will say that when in terms of the cape, the Beast Kingdom could definitely do better, because for one thing, even though it's wired, it's a very thin gauge of wire. It can hold the shape, as you can see. Let me see. See? Not bad. The problem is how they basically connect it to the figure. I'm not sure if this is one wire, but it's fairly kind of weak. Here. So it's not able to hold the shape here. So I think I can replace the wire if I want to. For now, it's doing a good enough job, and I'm trying to remember if Alex Ross actually had this using the bat scallops. Is that what they call it? Where it has that thing. I can't imagine why this is not like that. So I don't like that, and I'm not sure if I'm sold on this look or this design where, you know, I would prefer that this actually goes into this tip over here rather than the way it's shown. I believe if I really wanted to, I can probably, if I were to customize this, I could probably pop off this entire neck piece, because it is separate. As you can see, it's lifted over there, and there's a big gap, as you can see, as well. And I'll be very, very curious to see how it is, what this looks like underneath. But if you were to do so and fix how this cape is tucked into the figure, you might get disappointed because there is a pretty big gap between the two. See? Actually, it's good to show it like this as well. So if I were to do it the way I was hoping it was done and try to push this inside the gap, that's what I'll do off camera, and I'll be right back. All right, so I went ahead and pushed a little bit better and kind of posed the cape to what I feel is the better look of it. I like I said though, I feel like the wires seem too thin, so it's not holding the shape as much. I prefer this side, as you can see, where it somewhat lies more naturally to the shoulder and to um, the chest or the top of the arm as well, rather than this one where it keeps on kind of still ballooning up. I did somewhat fix the back of the bat ear, but we're going to be always going to be doing that with the bat ears because it's so thin that it's going to bend, either bend or breaks, and I prefer it bending so I can fix it up anyway. And I also brought in the regular version comic style Batman, and it's standing on one of my bases, so it's going to be a little bit higher or taller. But I did notice that it's basically using the same bodies, as you can see, exact same figure, even the exact same design of boots, everything to the wrinkles of the top of the pelvic area, just new belt, and new gauntlet design. Is it? Or is it the same? Oh, it's the same. Yeah, and probably the same neck area and then different head sculpt. And it's exactly the same size. I'm actually kind of happy with that because it shows a progression. This seems like an older or younger Batman, and then this will be an older one. It's kind of, this is the comic style Batman. They're both comic style, but this is based off of the Alex Ross style. So you can see a difference in terms of the face. I'll come in closer later on, but I'm okay actually that they're using the same bodies because I really do like this a lot. I really do. I also want to point out that with this one, they are kind of still learning with the cape. So this is actually an improvement off of this one because this one, the wires actually stop right here. So now there's no connection wire at all to the other side, and it's even floppier. So this is even worse than that wire, that cape. And this one does not go up to here. It goes inside the cavity and into the joint underneath the neck. So there's nothing for me to play with. And if I want to play with this one by kind of tucking this in, I am now left, because you need to tuck in the edge of a wire like this to have a stable base or insertion inside the body so that it's able to hold an uplifted shape like this. See, this is not able to do that because it's one big piece and it doesn't have anything to connect it to inside. It's basically the same wire, as you can see, same thickness and everything, but by inserting it into the cavity and having like an insertion point base, it's able to hold the shape. This one's not because it's basically rolling against the entire thing. But when I do this on this one, because I'd have to open it up and pry it, then by doing it this way, I get a bunching here, which is not something I want. So the solution, I think, is to replace the wire so that it goes all the way inside and I'm not having to tuck material in. Unfortunately, one of the things I found out with this particular cape is that, see how it's glued in? Well, they ended up gluing, it seems like what they did was ended up gluing the entire wire to the cape and then gluing the cape to itself. So it's not like, even though it's got something here that I can pry open, it's not like I can pull out the wire. Yeah, unfortunately, it seems like the glue that they use is good enough that it's actually doing a really good job securing that material in. Let's do a close-up of the two faces as much as I can to see. Oh, you can only focus on one. So here's a close-up of the two portraits. You can see that there's definitely two different faces in there, which is kind of unfortunate, but you know, because if it had been the same, if you can see that it's the same face in there, that you can see a progression between the two, but there's enough of a difference that you can tell it's not the same style. Um, but I do like the fact that it maintains the integrity that this is a comic book Batman, and this is a even though this is a comic book Batman, it's done by a different artist to portray a realistic version of Batman. What's the value in this one? I love um, how we finally have, or I finally have a DC figure that is based purely on their appearance as a comic book character. And it's the reason why I like Alex Ross is it's taking this classic look of a cartoon figure and putting in a lifelike paint application and features on the face, but it's still comic book, classic comic book, that he's not afraid to show up on. So I love the fact that we're finally getting a really good, pure representation of a comic book character that I grew up on in terms of style. And with that, it comes all this great articulation, all the features on the hands, and everything. So you can literally pose this as you've seen it. The only thing I would have liked is when you're, even though it's able to pose this, the fact that the leg goes somewhat sideways. If you wanted to pose like that, it's kind of, I wish it could have gone a little bit more straighter. But yeah, I think like people who are really, really good at posing, like The Amazing, could really make this pose look natural. I just not really that good at it, unfortunately. But yeah, you can get a lot of good poses on this. You still can't do. You can kind of do this, and I wish you could go a little bit more. You know what? It's just you wish for the most naturalistic looking pose that emulates the a pose that a human body can do. I'm always gonna wish for that, but you still have to maintain a really good look for it, though. I don't want like a Yamaguchi style where you can see all these ball joints and everything and weird um, cuts and shapes to be able to achieve that look. I really don't like the Yamaguchi has really great range of articulation. It's just way too much compromise and sacrificing the look of the figure. I think the value for this one, I'll maintain it at 12, because I'm really really happy with it. I intend to buy more. Let's put it that way. I intend to buy more Beast Kingdom as long as it's the comic book base. That's the reason why I wasn't really going out in a hurry to buy the Beast Kingdom Batman movie styles. That's not the direction I want the company to go. I want comic book characters if I can. So I'll maintain the value of 12. Very much well worth the $48 that we're paying for. If you think about it, that's $48, and this is $35. This is smaller. It's got more accessories, and yes, there's not any accessories for this one, by the way, just the hands. But this is $35, and that's $48, and I feel like this is much better, at least for me. Some people are very, very happy with what McFarlane is doing with the DC Comics line. It's okay for me, but it's for me it's not worth $35. I'm glad that he's finally getting into the classic look on the comics, but in order for him to do that, he bumped it up to $35. $35 on a basic figure like that, and that's basic for me. It's ridiculous. It's not worth $35. That should have been, well, I'm really digressing off the point. Anyway, I'm really happy with this one. I really am, and I have the entire wave to review, and I'm really excited to get to it. So thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys in my next review. Bye.